Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
It's Jeff. Glad everybody's here. Hope you've had a great week. It's getting colder here. Tomorrow we're supposed to be down below zero. I think either -5 or 1. But it's going to be cold this weekend. And we're supposed to get a little snow, I think. Well, not a little, but they're saying about, I don't know, a foot of snow on Monday. So, I don't know. But I think, they got everybody in a panic because of how hard the snow has hit places further south from us. And the thing of it is that those states that are getting heavy snow, they're not really accustomed to it. So that's why it's a bigger problem down there. They don't have the plows and stuff like that we have up here in Maine to deal with snowfall of that magnitude. So they're always like, I don't know why. I mean, they couldn't, they get some snow down in that way in the winter a little bit. But for them, I mean, whenever they get like a big storm, I mean, it's always like a major catastrophe because they're not used to that down there. But up here we are, so we're, so when they sit here and tell us about, a foot of snow, it's like, okay, well, we'll just huddle for, and wait it out, and, so that's how, we kind of deal with it up here, but it's, I don't know, it's like, because it's been such a big thing in the rest of the country, the weather service is up around here, the local news and stuff, they're like, oh, be careful. So it's like, okay, well, anyway. So yeah, there were, a lot of things happened this week, and there was a few times I wanted to do a video sooner than today, but it just seemed like the minute I would start something, a new development would happen and the story would change. So I mean, it's really difficult to keep up with this fucking administration because every day it's something new, every fucking day. Okay, and usually, when it's bad news, I mean, you're going to get hit with that. But if it's good news, you never hear about it. But it's always bad news because if we're getting news every day and it's all bad, then clearly there is no good news. So people that are saying that, the media is just trying to destroy Trump. Well, have Trump do something good. Maybe that would make the headlines because we've been fed so much bad news from this administration that, hey, it would help Trump some if he would do something good. But no, he hasn't done anything good. And, if there was anything good, Republicans would harp on it. But there isn't, because you don't really hear them say anything except supporting the bad news that he's been creating in this country. And that's all they can do. But if they were really honest about it, they're not too proud that their emperor-in-chief there is a complete idiot. All right, he's got the goddamn world against us now. I mean, they're already talking about sanctioning this country, stopping all trade with America. I mean, when they're talking like that, folks, I mean, that means we're going to end up in a bad situation worse than the Great Depression. And that means, the value of our money is going to go right down the fucking toilet, just like what happened in Germany before World War II. So, I like I said, when people think that the United States can stand alone, well, a global economy made that impossible now. And because Americans these days are more buyers than they are creators, our country has really become dependent on the rest of the world to supply us goods, and we stop making things. So that puts us in a very, very precarious situation here, that if they stop giving us stuff that we need, we don't have the infrastructure still around to be able to pick up where they left off, you know? And businesses and corporations are going to hurt in that scenario. So some of them just might cut and run and leave us behind and dry. So, you know, like I said, there is no good result of any of this shit. You know, I don't know why MAGA never thought there wouldn't be any blowback for Trump doing these tariffs and stuff. But now they're finding out that there was, and they never thought that it could happen. But it's going to happen, you know. And I feel like, you know, this is just, I mean, here you just, was it yesterday? The Premier of Canada sitting there saying, you know, as Canadians, we're just going to have to say, okay, goodbye, United States. Your time is over. We don't trust you anymore. Okay? Even if you get a Democrat as a president next time around, how long can we trust you? For the next 4 years after that? You're too wishy-washy. You can't, you know, one person makes agreements and the next guy comes in and breaks those agreements. So why would we want to do business with a country like that? You see what I'm saying? So they're finding out, which I've been saying for years ahead of time, like why do we let these presidents do that? If a president makes an agreement with a country, that should stand, no matter who comes in after him. An agreement is an agreement. That's our fucking word. But if a new guy comes into power and undoes all that, you know, especially when the environment things, you know, the Kyoto Accords, all that other stuff, you know, for the environment, the United States decides to pull out after we went into it, you know, honorably, and we pull out. I mean, how does that look? The rest of the world sees us as, you know, you fucking people don't know whether to shit or get off the pot. You know? Hell, I wouldn't do business with somebody like that. You know? So, yeah. So I'm glad Canada is starting to wake up. And, you know, Europe, I think, is starting to come around to that, too. You know? China's been making deals with all kinds of countries here for trade. All around us. You know? Canada just did one with China. So, you know, hey, this is what happens when you got an asshole for a president and all he wants to do is destroy the company. Soon we're going to be in the corner while the party's going on around us, okay? And that's what's going to happen. You know, I just... Anyway, I got this video here of this fucking asshole MAGA bigot there that went into a store and was harassing somebody. Apparently this guy's been stalking this woman here. But somebody, well, he was recording himself doing this, which he was going to post. I think it was either on TikTok or Facebook. He was going to post this on TikTok or Facebook to just show people how cute he is by, you know, harassing a black woman, okay? And, you know, it kind of backfired on him in some way. And so let's go to this video here, and then we'll talk about that on the other side.
Get away from me. Get away from me.
Folks, this might be one of the most disgusting meltdowns we've seen from one of these MAGA bigots. After confronting a woman in Walmart for being an African immigrant after seemingly stalking her online, Michael Todora got dumped by his wife, no longer allowed to see his children, and is also being followed and watched by the local police, hopefully leading to actual charges. Because what this loser did was so insanely scary. He knew personal confidential information about this woman and used it to intimidate her in public. How did he get that info? We'll dive into that after, but first, let's check out what he did because it is beyond egregious. Be sure you're subscribed to Really American for more news covering what MAGA is really like.
Yes.
Let me ask a question. How do you get to this country and have this much money to start a store and buy houses for $500,000?
$500,000? What is that?
The house on Crossridge that you were trying to buy for $500,000.
On Crest?
Crossridge, that you put an offer in for $500,000.
Oh, well then we'll finance you.
I'm trying to ask.
Hey. Be nice.
No.
What's going on?
I'm trying to ask. How are you getting in here
Yeah, but
and doing whatever.
You, who? Stop. Stop.
And doing whatever you think you can do.
Stop. What's
without
going
some
on? I need a security here. Get away from me.
I'm asking you.
Get away from me.
I'm just asking you a question.
Get away from me.
Why are you buying? How do you have money to buy all this bread?
Security, please. I need a security. Get away from me.
I'm just asking. How
Get
can
away from me. Can
Why
I get a
people-
Security, please.
why people
Get
can't fill a
away
shopping
from me.
cart with these coming
Get
out
away from
country?
me. And who's monkey? Can somebody call me a security, please?
And they come in this country. These ones too. What are you guys doing? You gonna fill up a whole shopping cart?
Somebody stupid.
Are you gonna fill a whole shopping cart up?
Don't talk to him. Don't talk to him. Take your stupid camera somewhere.
It is so heartbreaking to see this woman shift from being happy and upbeat, smiling at the camera, excited to be in a stranger's TikTok, and then realizing that he's dropping personal information about an offer that she made on a house that a stranger should not know. And then she turns around, looking around like it's a prank show or something. And then he just starts dropping the N-word and calling her a monkey. I mean, this is a level of delusional racism that is usually saved for pre-cross-burning tailgates or Stephen Miller's diary. And I just feel so bad for this woman. We'll hear from her from a bit, and she is much more gracious about this animal than I am. But first, I want to take a look into him, Michael Todora. This man, seemingly, was making an online career of harassing people of color in public. It didn't take long before he and his wife deleted their social media, but not before folks were able to snag a few things. Michael had lots of clips of him literally walking up to random black men and calling them George Floyd. And then another business owner in the community shared this security footage of Michael harassing them for committing the cardinal sin, being successful and brown.
How bad society's been since you shits got here. So I'm just showing we come into these stores, you guys don't do anything except try to get white people addicted to drugs, and we really don't need you. If anything, you're kind of just disgusting. So yeah, you.
Whoa, are you recording? What's up, bud?
I'm doing a thing for my council, and I'm just showing since you guys have invaded here, you've done nothing but bring paraphernalia to get white people addicted to drugs.
What are you talking about, brother?
I'm talking about you.
Good looking, okay. You're not welcome in my store. Could you please get out of here, sir?
You're not welcome in my country.
Get out of here, buddy. All right, get out of my store.
Why?
Get out of my store, bro. Come on.
I'm just showing
Get out of here, bro. You got nothing better else to do. Come on, bro. Get out of my store, bro.
Gambling.
All right. Thank you. Come on. Get out of my store, bro. Leave my facility. You're not welcome here. Come on.
You're not welcome in my country. Did anybody serve in your family?
Get out of here, buddy. Yep.
Who?
Sure did. Get out of my.
Yeah, what,
I was born here, you idiot. You got nothing
Yeah,
better
but
else
you
to
don't
do.
belong here.
All right, for sure. You don't belong here, too. Right?
Well, you don't
All
belong.
right, you don't belong here.
Yeah, but
Come on.
you're useless, though.
Come on. You're useless.
All right. Hey,
Take care.
thanks, shit
Goodbye.
skin.
Goodbye. Racist piece of shit. Racist piece of shit.
After the clip started going viral, Michael took to Facebook to give a non-apology. It's long, so I won't go into reading it, but he just whines about how he's sick of being all give and no get. He's sick of seeing brown people on his white ancestors' land, and his wife left him and won't let him see his kids. He also says that he shouldn't have done it because now his life is ruined. He never says that he apologizes. He never says so much as a sorry in this post. People obviously then tried to get him fired, but it turns out not only is he a deadbeat dad, he's also unemployed. Go figure. His last known employer responded to an email saying this person does not work for our company. He did for a short period of time back in 2018. And for the record, this is appalling to me personally, and our company would not put up with this. So then there's the obvious question. How did Michael know that Augusta, that woman, was an African immigrant who owned a business and recently put a $500,000 offer on a home? Usually that information is confidential. It's not public information and certainly not something someone who isn't a real estate agent would know. Michael is a lazy, racist, unemployed loser, so he isn't a real estate agent, but his wife is. Before deleting her own social media accounts, she posted this apology of her own. I can call it that because she does apologize, but not after leaving a long paragraph complaining about how she's been married to Michael for 15 years and how he's turned recently to the devil. Woe is her and her family. There is then a 2-sentence apology here that says, I'm sorry, it hurts my heart to see this, no one should ever have to go through that. And then she explains that she didn't give Michael the information he clearly knew. She says, it should be known, it has been well over a year since I've had an active license to practice real estate. I am unable to list or write offers for anyone. The information he received did not come from me. I had absolutely nothing to do with the sale of any house that Augusta Gall bought, sold, or wrote an offer for. I have zero knowledge of anything she does or has done in the past or present. Now, before you make the mistake of believing her, I found a few inconsistencies in her story after spending way too long today diving into this, but that's what you expect from the investigative rigor of Really American, I'm sure. Seriously, though, Amanda may not be as innocent in all this as she says that she is. First of all, 15 years is a long time to be with somebody who is racist, so chances are that didn't just pop up like a zit one day. And one of the posts that somebody was able to snag from her accounts before she deleted them said this: is this the first time a man has ever shown any interest in you, Casey? And perhaps you just didn't know how to respond, so you I think she meant to say just took the angry liberal route. Clearly, she has a problem with angry liberals. Well, she's not going to like us too much then, is she? She also claims to have moved her family out and away from Michael months ago. But members of her church and the community around her are saying that isn't true. This woman, who lives in the same area, but I've covered her name for her, has many stories about Amanda and Michael that she posted all throughout this incident, and this was her final post. My last and final post for the night is Amanda did not leave her husband. Friends with people who go to the same church, they were at every single church practice for a pageant together until the pageant itself was performed on December 21st. They were there as a family, hugging and kissing and holding hands and taking family photos. This recital, if it's true, was less than a month before this incident happened. So maybe, as folks are saying around her, she's simply lying about being estranged from Michael in an attempt to protect her career. Which takes us to the third lie that I uncovered. I did some digging in the Pennsylvania real estate licensing system, and after looking up her licensing number and her name, you can see that her status is clearly active. She claimed that she hasn't been able to practice in over a year because her license was inactive. But in reality, it was renewed in 2024 and doesn't expire until May of this year. So unless she renewed it only to immediately abandon it, that wouldn't make any sense. So either way, she said it was inactive, and it's clearly not. She is what we like to call down south a liar. And of course, it makes sense why she's panicking and trying to distance herself from this while denying that she helped him. It's pretty unethical and unprofessional to be looking up what random people are offering on houses because they happen to be immigrants. That exact behavior would lose her license. This is from the Pennsylvania State Real Estate Commission, who says it is the role of the commission to determine on a case-by-case basis whether a professional under its jurisdiction engaged in immoral or unprofessional conduct by departing from or failing to conform to an ethical or quality standard of the profession. Not to mention the various state and federal discrimination or privacy laws that she might have violated by accessing MLS, which is the system that real estate agents use, in order to get information on a person based on their race, or in this case, place of origin. And unfortunately for the Todoras, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania makes it very easy to file a complaint against their licensed real estate agents. And if you are in the area, I strongly suggest using the link in the description to file a complaint. Who knows how many people have been wrongfully discriminated against by the Todoras because clearly they care about that kind of thing. As for Augusta Gall, the hardworking woman who was harassed, she is an angel who has handled this with grace, going so far as to accept the man's apology on a local radio host Marty Griffin's show.
I keep saying I don't know why I cry when I listen to it. I try to avoid to listen to the audio because I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that at all, and me being called monkey,
God,
you know,
and the N-word.
monkey.
Oh God!
I don't think the N-word really, you know. I think it's the monkey that just.
Oh, he hates you. He hates your accent. What the hell's wrong with people?
Yeah. And he was not looking for African Americans. He was. I guess he knows us, you know, he knows me, he knows the Asians, you know, because on the video you can see that he's pointing at two of them at the plantain section and say, hey, look at these ones, you know.
This is dangerous, my dear, is it not?
Very. And he's all on social media. He was at my store yesterday.
No.
Yeah.
Doing
the
what?
moment he left to apologizing, he wrote a letter, apology letter, and said, I'm sorry.
Do you accept this apology?
Why not? We are human.
I swear, she's stronger than me. Where I'm from, what he said are fighting words. It would have been on site had he showed up to my business after what he did, even if it was to apologize. Mr. Michael Todora came to visit at Queen's Market in Charleroi to redeem an apology to me. I was not there, but when told, my stomach dropped. I'm scared of him. She continued, my husband said that 2 police officers came in just after he left to ask about our safety. Thank you to the police officers around the community, especially Charleroi, in the situation like this. They're watching him carefully. I pray they give him the mentally spiritual help that he deserves. I hope that her and her family get all of the success and wealth that they deserve, because she is more American than those racist monsters will ever be. If you want more stories unveiling what MAGA is really like, then you know where to find them, right here at Really American. I'm Tony Hinderman, and I'll catch you next time.
All right, so there you go. This guy clearly has a screw or two loose in his head. All right, he's the worst of the worst when it comes to being a bigot, and he thinks he's being cute and funny or whatever the hell he thinks he's doing, but because he's unemployed, which I doubt. Okay, he may not be working at a job. That doesn't mean he ain't working for himself. He's probably got his own little thing going on where he's making money. So, because everybody, well, how does he get the money to, he's bitching at other people because they seem to have more money than him, and he's jealous of that, okay? But I think that, he deliberately won't work at a job because he knows what'll happen if this shit gets out. People will get him fired. So this guy, I think, probably works for himself, or he's living with his parents, or whatever the hell the case may be. Now, this girlfriend of his or whoever, obviously is a piece of work herself. Like the guy said, she's been staying with him for 15 years, and now all of a sudden, now she can't stand it. No, she's covering her ass too because she's got a job. She don't want to lose it. So, the way I see it is like anyone associated with this guy should take a hit. Okay, this woman's claiming you're still gonna take it. We're gonna complain to your job. Okay, I don't care what you're saying online. You stayed with this guy for years. You knew this guy was a racist. Okay, and you stayed with him. So you're gonna get in trouble too. So everybody should find out who that woman is and write complaints to their job. Okay. Everybody's got, you know, there's got to be a fucking line, you know, that can't be crossed. Okay? It's just like Charlie Kirk and his widow going around acting like, oh, now, you know, I inherit what Charlie Kirk had. You know, I'm the new head of this turnabout, whatever the fuck kind of what organization they call that, Turning Point, whatever. Okay. Yeah. And now people are starting to get suspicious of her because she filed a motion for a speedy trial over the guy that supposedly shot him. And everyone's scratching their heads like, well, why would the victim want that? Usually it's the defense that would put a motion or something, or you know, on that in that score. Why is she wanting this trial to hurry up and end? You know, I mean, because when you do that, you rush, you know, the prosecutor, you rush the defense. Everybody's hurrying and to get everything together, and they're overlooking things, right? You want the investigation to be thorough. You don't want this to be, you know, slapdash, and you know, because then if something comes out later, whatever conviction was given or not given could be overturned, and there could be an appeal, and there could be another trial. So, you know, it's just everybody's kind of scratching their head saying that's very odd. You know, it's not something that we see, you know, in a situation like that where, you know, you know, where the widow or whatever of a person, of a husband that was murdered or something, would want the court to just hurry this thing up and get it over with. It's like, well, why? What is there, a time limit or something for you, or what are you up to? So people are kind of wondering what the hell's up with that. So, you know, she's been kind of weird ever since her husband got killed. Now, you know, sometimes people say, you know, that you know, people grieve differently, but you know, we don't really see grief. I don't. I mean, in the interviews and stuff online that they have, you know, with her, she doesn't act like a person who just suffered a major tragedy in her life. Okay, I mean, you know, I think of Jacqueline Kennedy when her husband John Kennedy was assassinated. I mean, people that around her knew. I mean, she was suffering. You know, she was out of it. I mean, basically. You know, and that's the kind of thing we kind of expect from people. So, you know, what my opinion is here about this Charlie Kirk thing is that she and him probably weren't that close. Okay, they probably had some strife or something, and so she isn't really that upset about it. Maybe, I don't know. She's just looking at his death as, oh, I inherit whatever the hell he's got going there. All right. And now it's all hers, but she's not a person who's really going to be able to do this thing the way her husband did. So I don't know, but yeah, this is, you know, this guy here in that store, that right there is an example of what's left that supports Trump. Okay, that's when I say the core of MAGA, that's what I'm talking about. People just like that man in the video there. Okay. That's what's left in MAGA right now. The friggin' freaks, the know-nothings. That's all that's left. Those are the ones that will arrogantly wear that stupid red hat, knowing that, you know, they might get killed or attacked or beat up or harassed just for wearing it. They don't care. Okay? They don't care, you know? And I know someone personally that wears that silly fucking hat. And, you know, I'm like, you know, one of these days, they're going to end up in a store somewhere, and they're going to be confronted by somebody, and it's not going to end well, you know, because the anger to people that are still supporting that son of a bitch and still wearing that hat is going up. It's reaching boiling point here in this country. I noticed even around here where this was a lot of MAGA people around here, all of a sudden now you don't see much of that now. You don't see the signs on lawns and stuff like that. I mean, there is this one house going towards Brewer there that still has that big fucking life-size poster of Trump sitting on the fucking yard. Okay, obviously, but that's the only one. I don't see any more signs out there. I mean, after Trump won the presidency the first time, okay? There were still some signs on people's lawns for months after the election, okay? And they left them there on their yard until COVID happened, and then all of a sudden those signs started disappearing. Well, that's what happened here, but quicker, because as soon as January hit and he was sworn in, shit started to hit the fan, and within March, I started to see less shit, supporting Trump out there. So I know that he's taken a hit quite a bit here, and so all that's left really are your freaks that support him, okay? And those are the people most of us don't even want to associate with anyway, even on a good day, okay? They just they're troublemakers, most of them. Some of them, probably got a police record, probably been in prison, that's basically that's left really supporting Trump. They say 30%. I think it's even lower than that now. I don't think it's 30% of the country supports Trump still. I think it's a lot lower than that now. I mean, this past year was really, really bad for Trump, popularity-wise. And, the internet is filled with people who have posted videos apologizing for having voted for him, feeling sorry that, their families disowned them because they voted for Trump, and now they're trying to make amends, and there's all kinds of grief out there from people that did the stupid thing in 2024, okay, and voted for him. Now they're all regretting it. And who the hell wants to be tied in with a bunch of fucking bigots like that anyway? Can you be friends with somebody like that? No. Of course not. And I wouldn't even try. I mean, sometimes I can tell who they are around here anyway. I could tell who the MAGA nuts are. And I just steer clear of them. I don't even want to talk to them, And, sometimes they'll see a bumper sticker, an old bumper sticker still on their vehicle, Nope. I ain't gonna talk to them. Don't even want to hear it. So, anyway, let's go to commercial break. We'll be right back.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm a lobsterman in Maine, and this is me.
I'm Roxy Sugar, and this is me.
I'm Eric Hopkins. I'm an artist, and this is me.
This is me.
Me.
This is me.
This is me.
At the end of the journey, the main thing is you. Original.
I think between the couple, girl. But I am a few percent of your love. So I will leave you in your side you have lost.
Good afternoon, you disgusting horde of liberal trash. Every time I have to come up here and see your stupid faces, I want to call ICE and have you deported. As you know, Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, made a speech yesterday at the World Economic Forum slandering Donald Trump, the greatest, most peaceful, and most definitely alive president in history, by stating in his speech that countries besides the United States should protect themselves from us, and talking about shopkeepers, ruptures, and human rights. Mark Carney revealed himself as the new Hitler. Only worse, because Mr. Trump and his team don't like him. Mr. Trump was extra mad because Mr. Carney purposefully used many words that the president cannot pronounce, like hegemony, asymmetrically, and Europe. The president has personally asked me to reiterate his comments from his own speech in Davos this morning regarding the Prime Minister's traitorous manifesto. Mr. Trump's speech was much better than Mr. Carney's, maybe the greatest speech the world has ever heard. As Mr. Trump said, Canada, you should be grateful for us, the United States of freedom. We give you so many things, and in return, you stabbed us in the back with word knives. There is no room under the Golden Dome for snakes who don't want to become part of America. Only American snakes are allowed. As the president also said this morning, Canada lives because of the United States. And so, Mark Carney, you should sleep with one eye open and say hello to Trump's little friend, because we are going to make you an offer that you cannot refuse. I have also asked RFK Jr. to lend us a horse head from his own personal collection, so look for that coming to a bed near you. Any questions? Yes, Mr. Vance. Yes, you will be put on the front lines when we invade Canada because the president hates you. Thank you. I sincerely hope that you all die in your sleep.
Told a boy I changed my hair color. He said, I didn't even notice you had hair. Right. Told a boy
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm here looking for Marcos de la Cruz. Is he here?
Can I ask why?
Listen, I gotta ask him a few questions though. Do me a favor, can you open the door for me, please?
Now we can speak like this.
Marco de la Cruz, is he here or not?
I don't answer any questions, man.
Listen, man, don't make this complicated, okay? If you don't open the door, I'm gonna have to kick the door open. Is Marco de la Cruz in there, yes or no?
I do not wish to speak with you or answer any questions. I do not consent any search of my person, belongings, or home. I'm exercising my right to remain silent, and I want to speak to a lawyer. If you are here to enter my home, please show me a judicial warrant signed by a judge with my name and address through the window or under the door.
Listen, I don't have a warrant, but if you don't open the door, I will go get a warrant. And if I go in there, you're going to be under arrest for obstruction, okay?
Well, I'll wait then.
Okay. Do you want to be under arrest? If I get a warrant and come in here, everybody's going to be under arrest.
No, I'm not going to open the door. I'm sorry.
You're making this way too complicated for yourself, kid. All right, open the door. I'm just here for De La Cruz. That's it.
I already said no, so you can leave.
Okay, I'm going to have to get a warrant, man. I'll come back and I'll talk to you then, okay?
All right, whatever.
All right, let's go.
You're scaring my customers! This is my place, you have no right. What you do is illegal! Within our authority. No, you're not! Leave now.
Hey, Daddy, I want a Nobel Prize.
Here we go again.
All right, sweetheart, all right. Daddy will get you a Nobel Prize as soon as we get home.
No, I want one of his.
Norway, how much do you want for the Nobel Prize?
They're not for sale.
Name your price.
She can't have one.
Who says I can't?
Must be a work lefty.
I want one. I want a Nobel Prize. Trophies. Prizes. I want the whole world to see me as Caesar.
They will, sweetheart.
And give me tribute all day.
Anything you say.
And by the way, I want a feast.
You're right. We just got you McDonald's.
And tariffs increased.
More of those.
Oligarchs go nuts. Just give me a bonus. Can't act like a grown-up.
You can have all those things at Mar-a-Lago.
No. I want a ballroom. I want my party to be my goons, and I'll be their tycoon. They're performing baboons. Just give it to me.
How about we vote?
Now! I want the world. I want the whole world. Got Venezuela, but Greenland looks better, and I'm the director. Give it to me now. Praises today, no jail tomorrow. Grievances air 'em, those files are unfair, and I don't want to share 'em! I want my party to send henchmen after those who mock my self-esteem. And if I don't get the things I am after, I'm going to scream. I want the world, I want the whole world. Medals and prizes, golf courses, high rises, cater to my vices. And now, don't care how, I want it now. Don't care how, I want it now.
She was a bad egg.
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it. It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
Welcome back. Now, as I said in the previous video, I believe it was the previous video, ICE was coming to Maine. Well, they're here. And already things have been posted about what ICE has done here in Maine since they got here. And I hope they freeze their ass off tomorrow. I really do. I hope they find being in Maine in the winter, dead of winter, is going to be fun for them, you know. But I think they're going to find that a lot of people in this state, not only are they crazy, okay, people in Maine are fucking out of their minds most of the time. Not only are they going to find that out, but they're going to find out, you know, that it's not going to be easier here to do their job than it was in, say, Minnesota or California. People here get riled up here just as much for things too. And last year I seen that all during the summer. All kinds of protests I never would see around here. You know, out on the bridge in Orono, in front of City Hall. You know, almost every month, I guess, there'd be a protest somewhere. And this was before ICE was even doing anything here. But, you know, people were getting pissed off. Trump's acting too much like a king, and we can't let that go on, you know, and that's what people were upset about, and especially when the health care, you know, was discontinued, and for a lot of people, or they were voted on it anyway. I've also noticed a lot of pushback against Susan Collins here in the state. You know, there's going to be a hell of a fucking fight here for her to keep her seat in this state. Because right now a lot of people don't see her as a benefit anymore to America, or to Maine, I'm sorry. They don't see her as a benefit anymore to the state. Okay? She's going around saying she's accomplished this and that and everything, and people are saying, when? We don't remember any of this shit, you know? She's probably talking about stuff she did like 10 years ago or something like that, or even further back than that. But she hasn't been a friend to Maine in a long time. In fact, there's a lot of farmers up in northern Maine that are kind of bitching about her right now. So if she's hurting, which northern Maine is her strong place, right? That's where most of her supporters are. If she's hurting them and she's not fighting for them, then, you know, how much support is she really going to get here? You know, I mean, I realize in this in this state, it's the name you know. You ever see that movie there with Eddie Murphy? Okay, it's the name you know. That's the way people around here vote, you know, by and large. At least in northern Maine. I don't know about southern Maine. Southern Maine's more liberal than northern Maine, but people don't like change around here in this state. And even though they get pissed that nothing's ever done, and nothing ever changes, they keep voting the same assholes back in there that keep doing the same thing. You know, they give trust to somebody who isn't giving back. So, anyway, let's go to this video here about ICE in Maine here, and then we'll talk more about the stuff after that.
Please know, the single greatest threat to our democracy is the ending of due process. Hey there, welcome back into another breaking story here in Occupy Democrats. And while we all know how dangerous ICE has become, you will not believe in this breaking story how the hell far they have gone and what just happened in Maine. Because true authoritarianism is when you have thrown away all of the checks and balances that exist with our three branches.
Last week, a federal judge issued an order redistricting federal agents' use of force against immigrants and protesters in the Chicago area, saying that Bovino's justification for this behavior was, quote, not credible.
And true totalitarianism, like it is in this breaking story, is when you can manage to get 98% of your citizens to live in complete abject fear.
What? Wait! Under Fourth Amendment, your home is your castle, and if you do not invite them in, it is a blatant constitutional violation to break down a door with a battering ram, especially when they know that there's a 9-year-old inside.
And official fascism is when your elected leader and all of his elected disciples, I mean paid for politicians, stand in support of them.
Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough because we've been held back by the judges, by the liberal judges that were put in by Biden and by Obama.
And if you'd like to see Trump and all of his minions out of the White House, just subscribe to the channel. But when the Gestapo, who's running the raids, looks at every single rule they have regardless of written rules and policies and decides that no matter what their people do, it's okay, that's how you get to everything that I said. This.
Chief, I do want to show you, I'm curious if that is proper use of force.
Sure, absolutely. The use of that less lethal device, a pepper ball, was absolutely in line with policy.
You see, because Trump has denigrated all the judges and everyone that doesn't completely agree with him. So the laws and rules mean absolutely zero.
This comes as a CBS News investigation reveals that some of those tactics also violated Department of Homeland Security policy.
And in this breaking story, ICE isn't in Texas. They're not in Florida, where there's 3.5 million undocumented people. Oh no, they're going from Minneapolis to Maine. And look at how emboldened ICE agents are now, what they said out loud, in their out loud voice to a random neighbor in Maine right here. Check this breaking story video out. Holy smokes.
It's not illegal to record.
Exactly. What you guys are doing here? Yeah. Look at them.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, why are you taking my information down?
Because we have a nice little database.
Oh, good.
And now you're considered a domestic terrorist. So
We're videotaping you?
look at that. The ICC does. Be careful. Be careful.
Are you crazy?
So now the play is, oh, okay, turnabout's fair play. We're going to come with enough extra people into your little town, and when you decide to record us, we're going to record you, have your face and your name, and we're going to place you in a database we call domestic terrorism, simply because you're breathing, living, standing in your neighborhood with a phone in your hand. Close your eyes, hear the guy say, Now you're a domestic terrorist and we have your face and name in a database. And remove technology and hearken back to see if this sounds like something that would have happened on or about 1939. Feel familiar? That is what ICE is doing in Maine right now. It is hard to fathom. It's hard to believe for me, for you, that we're living in this time. And the problem is that we have a set of senators and a set of House representatives who are so afraid of getting primaried and losing their precious elected official job that, unlike the senators and House of Reps that surrounded Nixon in 72, these folks are unwilling to stand up to Donald Trump. And they're all the ones in history, along with Trump, who are going to be noted for having torn down democracy and put us in the situation we're in. You guys like and share the video. And
all right, so let's expand a little bit more here on the actions being taken here against ICE. Going back to Minnesota, this is from The Guardian. Minnesotans are strike to protest ICE surge in state. No work, no school, no shopping. Tens of thousands of Minnesotans marched in Minneapolis and otherwise participated in an economic blackout on Friday, today, to protest against the ICE surge in their state. About 100 clergy members were arrested by police during the action. Besides faith leaders, the, quote, no work, no school, no shopping, unquote, blackout day of protest was kicked off by community leaders and labor unions and included actions around the state, plus business closures and solidarity. The, quote, day of truth and freedom, unquote, protest comes in the wake of the killing of Renee Good, the unarmed woman shot by a federal immigration officer in Minneapolis earlier this month. Their demands include that ICE leave Minnesota, that the ICE officer who killed Good be legally held accountable, an end to additional federal funding for ICE, and for the agency to be investigated for human rights and constitutional violations. Hundreds of local businesses in Minnesota have announced closures in solidarity. Thousands of people took the day off from their jobs to join the action, while others will participate by not shopping on Friday. The Minneapolis City Council endorsed the day of action and the general strike. The state's cultural institutions, including the Walker Art Center, the Minneapolis Institute of Art, the Science Museum of Minnesota, and the Minnesota Children's Museum, will be closed on Friday as well. During a protest at the Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport on Friday morning, hundreds of clergy members called for an end to the ICE surge and urged airline companies to join them in opposing ICE in the state. Video of the action shows hundreds of people walking outside the airport in sub-zero temperatures, singing songs and praying together. Deportation flights go in and out of that airport daily. On Friday afternoon, thousands clad in winter gear and carrying signs filled the streets of downtown Minneapolis to march in sub-zero temperatures, ending in a rally inside the Target Center and Arena downtown. Quote, we are going to be having dangerously cold weather on Friday, 10 degrees with wind chills like the high is going to be -10 with wind chills of up to -20. Chelsea Glaubitz-Gabot, president of the Minnesota Regional Labor Federation, AFL-CIO, had told The Guardian earlier, quote, we are a northern state and we are built for the cold. And we are going to show up, but folks are going to need to pay attention to not just the march, but what people are doing, the individual stories of solidarity that people are going to be doing, unquote. The Minnesota AFL-CIO, the state's federation of more than 1,000 affiliated local unions, has endorsed the day of action, along with dozens of local labor unions. Quote, I think what generated the idea for this action comes out of the need to figure out what we can meaningfully do to stop it, unquote. Kieran Knutson of president of Communications Workers of America, CWA Local 7250 in Minneapolis, told the Guardian last week, quote, the government in the state of Minnesota has not offered any path towards stopping these attacks, this violence, unquote. A child care worker in Minneapolis who requested anonymity for fear of retaliation toward the immigrant families they serve had explained they were shutting down for the day after consulting and receiving immense support from the families of the children they care for. Quote, we had time to ask the families that we serve if they would be on board with shutting down, and we got a hugely positive response, unquote, they said. Quote, we serve families that are on child care assistance, families that pay out of pocket, so they were all in agreement, even ones that have been trying to go to work, even during this time where they were fearful of being out of their houses. So it was really the families. They all stood up for it too, unquote. At the University of Minnesota campus in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Duluth, labor unions representing student workers and staff have called for the university system to shut down on Friday to allow students and workers to participate in the day of action. University of Minnesota graduate labor union said ICE's operations have had an impact on student workers since the beginning of the Trump administration. In early 2025, at least 3 international students at the University of Minneapolis were arrested and detained by ICE, despite an immigration judge ordering their release. Quote, it's really concerning to us that the university is remaining neutral in a time when immigrant communities and international students are literally under attack, unquote, said Abaki Beck, president of the University of Minnesota Graduate Labor Union. Quote, one of the other things we're pushing for on campus specifically is just increased support for immigrant workers and international students, unquote. A spokesperson for the University of Minnesota cited a guidance memo from university leadership in response to the day of action. They said in a statement, quote, the University of Minnesota fully supports the rights of faculty, staff, and students to engage in lawful civic expression. We also must ensure continuity of operations and meet our responsibilities to students and the university community, unquote. The Department of Homeland Security claimed to have made 3,000 arrests in Minnesota over the past 6 weeks. The U.S. Army put 1,500 soldiers on standby for possible deployment to Minnesota as 3,000 immigration officers have been dispatched to the state by the Trump administration. This is beyond insane. Quote, why would these labor bosses not want these public safety threats out of their communities, unquote. A DHS spokesperson said in an email in response to the economic blackout, quote, these are the criminals these labor bosses are trying to protect, unquote, the spokesperson added, citing 23 uncaptioned photos of claimed undocumented immigrants with criminal records who have been arrested by ICE. Nationwide, immigrants with no criminal record continue to make up the largest group of U.S. immigration detention, which is at record levels. Okay, so yeah. We're probably going to end up seeing that here eventually in Maine too. You know, things are going to get really bad up here. And I would suggest to everyone in Canada who, you know, likes to come to Maine for vacation. I mean, we did get some Canadians coming down last year, even though a lot of them said they weren't coming to the United States, okay? We did get some down here, but I'm going to put out this warning here in all candor. Don't come down here this summer, okay? Really don't, because if ICE is here and they see you, and if you don't have all the papers and everything that you need to be into this fucking country, you could end up being detained, and for God knows how long. I mean, one of I can't remember who it was, but one Canadian already had died in detention from ICE detention, okay, when they came down here. I don't know what the hell happened to the guy, because I can't remember the whole story now, but you know, they're not lightening up on anybody, okay? And I would suggest, you know, if you don't want any problems, you don't want any drama, okay, this summer, go enjoy your summer someplace else in another country. The United States it's all falling apart here, okay? So, you know, it's not safe for anybody, not even the Americans living here, okay? All right, so I would suggest don't come down. Save your money or spend it somewhere else, but don't come to the States, okay? I realize that's bad news for my state here because we depend heavily on tourist money during the summer. But I think, you know, everyone's going to have to bite the bullet at some point, you know. And I just feel like, you know, if ICE is here, it's not going to matter if Maine wants you to come down. ICE doesn't want anyone coming here that isn't American. All right, and that means, you know, if they can't find enough illegals, they'll go after people visiting here from another country. Okay, and they'll just harass them. I mean, you've already got warnings being issued from other countries about, you know, if you come to the United States, you could get shot, you could get detained, you could be, you know, listen to those warnings because, hey, you know, I'm here, and I'm seeing it every day, and I know you guys are too. You see that in your news. Take it serious. Take it fucking serious. You know, I don't want to see anybody getting killed that's not even American here, okay? Let the Americans get killed because we created the fucking mess in the first place, and it's up to us to fix it, right? So if anyone's going to die, let it be fellow Americans who voted for that son of a bitch and let them pay the price, okay? You guys don't have to pay the price. It's not your fucking mess. It's our mess. We got to clean it up. And the best thing for people in other countries to do is to shut your doors to this country, okay? Let America just fucking fight it out, okay, until it comes out the other end and our country can decide what the fuck kind of government we want. Because apparently we're not happy with what we got. There's too many people that are trying to destroy it. If they can't get their way, they're going to destroy it so nobody gets their way. That's what we got going here. You know, I've been trying to convince people in other countries for a long time, you know, that America's not the great golden palace that they've been taught growing up. You know, because, you know, and I hate to dash people's hopes, especially because I had friends, you know, in Ukraine during the shit that's been going on there, and a lot of them are hoping to come into this country. And I'm saying, you know, we got a president right now that's not going to be too happy about anybody from other countries coming over here. So you might not want to come to the States at this point, you know, in time. It's not a good time. They didn't want to hear that, you know. You know, they were told that, you know, oh, it's whatever how bad it is, you think it is, it's worse everywhere. It's like, well, it's gonna get worse here. It's gonna get worse. Okay, you could be leaving one war zone and ending up in another. So wherever you are, if you're safe, stay there. Okay, you know. But yeah, don't come to this country because, you know, we have ruined what was a good thing. We have ruined this country's image. We have tarnished the, you know, the honor of so many people who fought and died to protect what we have or had. To the point where, you know, it's just people, they tell you, oh, thank you for your service, but it's just words. They don't really mean that because they'll just assume cut your fucking throat, your Medicare or headache or whatever benefits you're getting as a veteran, just to save their own skin, okay? So it don't mean anything. It doesn't fucking mean anything anymore, okay? I feel, you know, I feel kind of perplexed at times when people say that, and I think about, well, are you one of those that just say that, or do you really mean it? Because there's a lot of people that say that but don't mean it. Okay, just like those people on January 6th that were saying support the cops, and then they're out there beating the shit out of them and killing them, okay? People like that. I don't need their support. I don't need their thanks, okay? I already know what they are. But I'm just saying, you know, as you know, an American, I'm just warning everybody, anyone that's watching this that's from another country, and, you know, if you ever make plans to come to Maine or anywhere in the United States to vacation, please don't. You know, you're going to get hurt probably, or worse, detained by ICE and get hurt in that regard. You know, it's sad that we can't be trusted in a lot of ways anymore now. And because people don't realize a good thing when it's there, they keep siding with the worst option. this is what you kind of government we end up with. Okay, the way you vote decides the kind of future you're going to have, and people voted like idiots, and now we're living in an idiot world now here in America. So, but there's a lot of good places to go besides this country anyway. Okay, Americans, they like to go to places outside, like the islands or Virgin Islands or Costa Rica or something like that. So even Americans, you know, kind of find it boring in the country anyway. So you ain't missing nothing, all right? Don't feel like you're missing anything, okay? I mean, there's, as far as I know, I mean, Canada, you know, you got some pretty good beach up there and stuff, and you got a lot of beautiful country to go and see. You know, I went to Toronto here a few years back. Loved the city. People were nice. I mean, Christ, you talk to anybody there, they just talk to you, you know. I mean, this was actually like being in the city of Toronto. You would think in a city it's like, oh, you know, like New York, everybody's you know, an asshole or something. Didn't get confronted by assholes in Toronto. They're really nice people there. And, you know, I would love to go back and visit more because I didn't get to see everything I wanted to see in Toronto. It's such a big city. Big city. God almighty, it's a big city. Yeah, there was a lot of things I wanted to see. I saw a lot, but I was only there for like three or 4 days. And I drove there and then I drove back. It was a nice drive because, you know, as soon as you get outside of Toronto, it's like all country. Like farmland and stuff like that, and then you got a small town, sits by a really nice like river and stuff, and really pretty area. You know, it's a nice spot. Of course, that's just me, outsider looking at. I mean, people who live in Toronto probably have a whole different attitude about it, but you know, for me, it was my first time in Canada. You know, at least on that side of Canada, and I really enjoyed being there. But right now, I like I said, for Canadians, you know, wanting to come into the States, don't do it. Not, you know, I don't know how things are going to shape up by summer, but I don't see that it's going to get any better. And like I said, right now in Maine, we got ice here now, so they're going to start ratcheting up the pressure in this state. And it's going to be like a war zone here by summertime. So take my warning seriously, people. Consider it, because, you know, I wouldn't want to see your, you know, families getting split up or anything like that because of some asshole in a make-believe uniform, you know, and having his face covered and shit like that, you know, doing something to your family. So anyway, that's it for today. So I hope everybody has a great weekend. So subscribe, comment, and share. Keep your ears open for health issues. And a lot of people have been getting sick this winter here. I'm not sure if it's just, I mean, you know, if it's like just the flu or some new kind of flu or whatever the hell it is. But I mean, you know, all kinds of people, you know, getting sick everywhere. So keep your ears open for that, and maybe wear a mask if you're going to be someplace public or in a restaurant. That'd be a good idea. So protect yourself, and treat each other nice out there, you know, especially when you got ice roaming around. Your allies, stay close to them, stick close to your friends, okay? Strength in numbers, you know. So yeah, and know, you know, what to do if someone or one of these nuts here tries to harass you or something like that, okay? You know. Okay, I'll talk to you later, everybody, so take care.